Hello, people. Um, Today I am gonna be doing a special thing today. This is a movie we're gonna be doing in the future. You probably saw my Jurassic World fan film news for like future Jurassic World, Jurassic Park movie ideas, fan films. But of course, like I said in another behind the scenes video last year, I believe, we're not just gonna do Jurassic themed stuff. We're gonna be doing other genres of stuff, and I have to, someone to discuss this with me, so he may come out.
Hello.
So Justin, what are we discussing about today?
We are discussing our ideas for Transformers rivalry.
Yep. So basically, this um this movie, you probably heard about it, that we're gonna be doing a Bayverse movie based off like the original, not the original, but like the original Bayverse movies, like that began from like 2007 to like 2018, I believe, or 2017,
I think so, yeah.
something like that. And for a lot of people, this is like Transformers, but then for a lot of people, Transformers is like Generation One, which is, of course, because most of those people that love Generation One more is because of they were grew up with that, and
True.
they're kind of used to that Generation One. So yeah, so this movie will be called Transformers Rivalry, and this movie will star two Cybertronian characters, which we will reveal to, and me and Justin will star as those two characters, but you will see what what um, what our characters are. So let's get on with it. So, oh my word, sorry people, what is going on here? Sorry people, technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties we have.
Oh, so then the the first thing is my character, which is apparently an Autobot, and his name is Sunglass. So you basically, I will basically either voice the character or like have a costume on, trying to make a Transformers costume. And like, of course, his first form, alt form, will be a 2007 Ford F-150, 2008 F-150, Ford F-150 pickup truck. And then, of course, his second form will be a 1970 Dodge Challenger. Yeah,
And the reason we're having two different forms is because the characters, what happens is the two characters meet up, and of course, a fight happens, which causes the first form to become damaged, much like Optimus's form was in Age of Extinction, which causes them to have to get a new alt form, which is why there were two different alt forms for the characters.
yeah. And then, yeah, basically. And then we've got Justin's form. So Justin, explain about your
Um,
character here.
well, my character is Decepticon, first of all, because you can't have a Transformers movie without an enemy, without Decepticons in it. And honestly, with how many times, honestly, I, in from the lines from one of the characters from Transformers Dark of the Moon, why do the bad guys always get the cool stuff? I thought, why not I be the bad guy and then I get the cool stuff? Because yes, I do agree with him. The bad guys always get the cool weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So my character's name is Nightshade, mostly because his my character's alt form colors are going to be black and purple, much like much like the nightshade flower, which is known to be very poisonous when consumed, which has a purple and a bit of black with it. So my first form for that is going to be I think from what I remember,
You can see on the screen.
1982 DeLorean, which is what we see in the first form. And my second form, I kind of took inspiration from Age of Extinction again with Lockdown's character, which will Lockdown's alt form, which is a Lamborghini Aventador.
Mm-hmm. So basically, Justin's gonna have like two supercars as his first and second alt form. So
Mostly because I'm a big fan of DeLoreans and also a big fan of Lamborghinis Aventadors because Lamborghini Aventadors, in my opinion, are the coolest.
and yeah, basically, and of course, this movie chronologically will happen between Transformers One and Revenge of the Fallen. So what can you tell the fans what to expect, Justin?
Well, first of all, what to expect is don't you shouldn't expect a whole lot because much like the actual Transformer movies, because with the actual Transformer movies, it's all done via CGI. So this would either so with this one we're either going to have, and no offense to either of us, right? But both of us would either have very bad costume designs, or it would be very skippy with having to do CGI, for which in itself is very difficult to learn how to do CGI.
Yeah,
So
basically.
first off, what we're saying is we're going to do this, just don't expect a whole lot out of it, considering this will be probably one of our most difficult films ever. Considering we're going
Along
to have,
with Jurassic Shifters, along with Jurassic
yes,
Shifters, this will be difficult.
because either one of two things are going to happen. Either one, we're going to have absolute garbage trash costumes, or two, it's going to be very bad, horrible CGI.
Yeah, like I've seen some people doing costumes. We might kind of like get an idea of like either we might like get some cardboard, shape it into like some pieces, shape it into like pieces from like a car. Like for instance, we could make like Justin could make like a chest piece that kind of looks like this front part of the DeLorean, stick it here in his chest area, have some like cardboard stuff go around here to make it look like it's just the pieces of the car just transformed and interlocked and that kind of stuff into an armor.
Yeah, so don't expect a whole lot from this. We will try our best. Um, so that's one thing to be on the look for. The second thing is definitely the acting, considering this one, unlike most of our other films, will have probably a gigantic amount of person via person combat, or in other words, CQC, close quarter combat, between me and Matthias. The
So you're
reason for
gonna
that
be
is because,
seeing, yeah, yeah, where there's gonna be a lot of like, there might be a lot of punching, like firing, kind, in the Transformers movies, Bayverse
you
movies,
know, the usual stuff: punching, kicking,
explosion,
flipping, explosions,
explosions,
shooting, all stabbing,
Decepticon
all that
head
kind of stuff.
ripping off Decepticon heads, and like,
Well, maybe not that, but definitely dismembering parts of the car, like the doors and stuff like that. Kind of like what you see happen with Bumblebee in um, The Last Night, which I won't say much of because Mateus hasn't seen it yet, so I'm trying not to spoil that for him. But for those of you who've seen it, you know what scene I'm talking about.
yeah, pretty much. And uh we're also gonna have like talking about the costumes again. I've also seen some costume ideas of like people using power wheel cars, those cars that little children use. Like they've like gotten like the pieces, like the front part and some of the pieces, and like used it to make a costume, but
Yeah. And
considering,
another thing that we might do, which I've actually seen on, I think it was a TikTok or a YouTube short, I don't remember which one, but it was a really fascinating idea for how to make it look like cars are driving down a road with and basically that is to have a treadmill, turn on a treadmill at a decent speed and then put toy cars on it so it looks like the car's driving along a road without um it actually being a natural car or on a natural road. It creates an illusion of a car driving on a road, which is which we might do for the scenes where you don't see us, but just the car, because they can drive them. The Decepticons and Autobots can drive themselves, so of course you wouldn't see a person in the car, which is why we'd use that for the illusion of a car self-driving.
yep, pretty much. And I'm trying to think here, but of course, how another thing to think about is size, because you know how Transformers are. They're like bigger than humans. Like they're like,
They make humans look like ants.
yeah, and how we would
Well,
probably do that.
some. I mean,
Yes,
characters like Optimus, Grimlock, and stuff like that definitely make humans seem like ants, while the most smaller ones, like the Aussie characters like Sideswipe or stuff like that, not so much considering the alt forms are smaller, which makes the humans not as small as opposed to characters like Optimus, Megatron, or things like that, because their alt forms are bigger, thus they look bigger.
yeah. So how would we do that? You may ask. Well,
Camera
being the
angles.
fact we could probably use green screen, like if for like scenes like fighting, like all we need to really do, we like record like some scenes at, like, for instance, a parking lot, but like for instance the fight scene around the parking lot, like around the very first scene that Nightshade and Sunblast fight on Earth, and
In the first form, mind you.
in their first forms, and then we would probably record the us in our costumes separately in front of a green screen, and like go like and make it
Yeah.
look like we're fighting, and it makes it look like we're huge too. So
Yeah. We'll also use camera angling, like having the cameras at certain angles, which actually they use quite a lot in stop motion animations or films, is to make something look bigger, is they angle the camera downward to look up so it looks bigger than it actually is. So we'll also use camera angling and green screen to create the illusion
mhm.
of something being bigger.
And of course, we're gonna be using real locations too for like scenes with like the human character, because I think there's gonna be only one human character, or there might be two. What do you think about the human characters, Justin, that we might implement? Will we only have one, or there will be more than one, or something like that?
Well, there would be one, but also another idea that we discussed was the inclusion of holograms, which, for those who have seen the first Transformer movie, basically like what happened with Blackout, when we first met Blackout at the army base in Qatar. You see like a pilot sitting in the helicopter, even though it was a Decepticon. That was basically a hologram. So something that we have been discussing is our characters having hologram forms, and as a way of knowing that it's our characters, is they would have characteristics from the alt forms, like depending on Mateus's character Sunblast, what color he is, his Mateus's hair would have like a streak of that color in his hair, as opposed to my character with black and purple, he would have black hair with purple streaks in it.
Pretty much. And then how we might, another idea, like for like some scenes, I don't know, we maybe find real cars, but that would be kind of hard considering the fact.
Especially, yeah, and especially considering how expensive the different ones are.
Yeah, so we might just probably use die cast models and make them look bigger than they actually are.
Yeah.
And then because that would be because getting a real DeLorean and a real Lamborghini
Yeah,
or
like a real Lamborghini, like a real DeLorean from 1982.
kind of hard
It
to
like
find.
kind of hard to find, and also almost impossible to buy considering how expensive they are. Not to mention the Lamborghini Aventadors are also super expensive. So it's like, yeah, good luck seeing us drive one of those, or even sit in one of those, considering how expensive they are.
Yeah, and of course, for like some fighting scenes, like we said, we will probably record in some actual real locations nearby where I live. We might so for instance, like if we want to have a scene, maybe this could be a scene like maybe Nightshade and Sunblast fight in a canyon or something like that. We could go down to like I think it's like north or something like yeah, I think it's like north in Alberta, Drumheller, if you know what Drumheller is.
For those of you who know what it is, yeah, you know what we're talking about.
Like in northern Alberta.
Yep.
Um we might record like for instance, we can go to a canyon and we can record a scene of like Sunblast and Nightshade fighting it out in like a canyon. Because then
Throwing up the dukes.
and then it because then if because the canyon will have like some rock formations and stuff like that, and then it will just look like hey, they're like in the desert somewhere in like for instance maybe California or something like that, and they're like fighting off like in like I don't know Death Valley or Arizona, whatever state our story takes place in. So
Yeah.
and I don't know for sure, but we might. I don't know. This was an idea we had to actually have a cameo appearance of Sideswipe. You know Sideswipe, that Mr. Corvette. You know
Yeah.
Mr. Silver Corvette Autobot.
Chevrolet Colette 2008 model,
Yeah,
what I'm remembering.
like he might make a cameo appearance. I don't know.
Yeah. We're not sure though, cause yeah.
Well, do you have something?
Well,
One.
that, and or we might even just make mention of characters. So in a way, in itself might be a cameo. Like for example, like Mateus's character uh, Sun, Sun,
Blast.
whatever, yeah. Sunblast might make mention of like trying to get to the Autobots with Optimus and the others. While my character might make mention of like, oh, I need to go report this to Megatron and stuff like that. So our characters might make mention of other characters from the Baywatch, Bayverse,
Bayverse movies. Like we might even
Bayverse movies, but
mention
we're not sure
some
if we can
character.
get like,
Yeah,
yeah,
we might even mention some characters from the Bayverse movies, like Lennox or Sam
yeah.
or
Yeah,
one of those
but
people.
we might like we'll definitely probably do that. But with as far as cameos, like actual like having appearances from the characters, we're not sure.
Yeah, I don't.
Most likely not, but we will definitely make mention of the characters,
Yep.
which is probably the closest you're gonna get to a cameo.
Now talking about weapons, like what weapons do you guys the weapons you are
See,
probably
all
expecting.
characters use.
So
Let's
you
start
might
with you, your character.
so for me, Sunblast, you might I don't know for sure. Maybe I might have blades, some swords, kind of like Optimus's two energon blades that come out of his wrists and that kind of stuff. Or I might have like some type of cannon or something like that coming out of an arm.
Well, you
Like
could have bows too.
You have a little bit of
Remember, like,
both.
just because you have one doesn't mean you cannot have the other.
Yeah, like I'll probably have several different weapons. Maybe I'll probably have a cannon like kind of almost like Bumblebee's kind of cannon or something like that.
Well, it depends on which version of Bumblebee we're talking about.
Yeah, like maybe number 1 2007 Bumblebee or whatever Bumblebee from the Bayverse movies, whatever.
Because I will say, Bumblebee's cannon from the Bumblebee movie, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
maybe that.
will say that.
And yeah, if you watch whenever that movie comes out and you see us in these costumes just running around and like charging at each other, please don't laugh and judge.
We apologize ahead of time for what you will have to bear through and watch. We apologize ahead of time for that.
You'll probably look like those YouTube videos of like these kids pretending to be Superman or Batman or something like that, and they're like,
Yeah, it's gonna look like that, except less adorable because we're not little kids.
yeah, and
Basically, it's gonna look like two full-grown adults just being idiots, and we apologize for that.
yeah, and the different thing is we'll probably try to make the costumes good, like some costumes out
Like
there.
we'll at least try to make the costume. We'll at least try to make the costumes look decent, so we don't make complete fools of ourselves on the internet.
So like,
Though I think it's already too late for that.
so like, um, so for example, I just need to escape. Like for instance, Transformer. I'm just
Don't
searching it
mind
up.
his background.
Sorry, it's just one of my characters from one of
Don't mind the
my
background, folks.
stories. One of my stories. Don't mind that. That's one of you. Yeah, wow. So not like that. Not like that. No,
Not like that, folks.
no. That's something more like this. You could probably expect something like this. Not like this at this level, but like,
Yeah, more kind of like the
oh, what the? Oh, sorry, people.
more like the oh man.
You see, I'm scrolling down, people. There's G1 stuff. Yeah, this movie is not G1, people. We're not doing G1.
We're not doing the G1 models.
Like, see, like something. Oh, I'm trying to see here. Like not something like this. Maybe I don't know.
Something like that, maybe, if we can get lucky.
If we can get lucky, we could have like maybe something like this.
So it looks decent, but again, we don't make promises we can't keep. We'll try.
We'll try. If we can find a power wheel that's like broken up or something like that, that we can probably use the pieces and stuff like that, we'll try.
Yeah.
But if we can't, we'll just use cardboard and shape it into like, I don't know, like, not G1, but like kind of like a shape, like a torso out of cardboard or something like that. Try to make
Yeah.
it good. But
Yeah.
we can't really promise that.
Yeah, we can't promise it, but we will do our best.
Well, it was nice talking to you guys, and we don't know when we're gonna do this movie, but when we do, we will let you guys know, like we always do here on the channel. We always like give you like heads up and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So make sure to
Keep an eye out for it.
keep an eye out, and also you guys, the time is coming very soon for for us to do Prehistoric Peril. Coming really soon.
Yep.
And and again, just like a Transformer movie we'll do in the future, don't expect too much from our Prehistoric Peril this year too.
Yeah.
Because like again, we're not professionals, like Justin said once. We are not professionals.
We are not big budget movie directors or actors. We're just fans doing what we can.
And maybe one day, if we get advanced in how we do things,
Computer programming and all that, if we can get advanced with all that, then maybe we can do some more bigger projects like you probably see people have made, like other people's fan films, but they have lots of experience with digital work, digital computing and all that. So maybe in like a few years, if we get really good, you can see something like that. Until such time, don't get your hopes up.
yeah. So, adios, everyone. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
So yeah.
Sorry, everyone. Me and Justin forgot this one thing that we forgot to tell you is they're stunts.
Yes.
So
Uh,
we don't know how we're gonna do some stunts because in the Transformers movies, you guys, there's a lot of jumping, kicking, like getting
flipping.
flipping, getting yeeted into the air. We are not gymnasts, people. We're not gymnasts. We don't know how to do that stuff.
I mean, I used to take gymnastics, but I don't do anymore, so I'm not as flexible as I was.
And I never took gymnastics, so
Yeah.
yeah. That was just guys.